Hey, how's it going? Today is 5th of January, Friday. We're taking a look at potentially how to engage and or have opportunity in having access some of those supercomputers, right? It's something that I was taking a look at yesterday. I think that on Wikipedia it says if I'm promoting this project, non-profit, I guess, it said that it's nine computers are available within the UK, about eight in comparison in places like Germany. There might be there are similar numbers within places like France, right? So there's a number of those. Now then I'm taking a look at, there might be perhaps even 20 different computers available, right? It depends on what would be considered a supercomputer, right? And perhaps what kind of problem yourself you're looking to solve, right? If anything, that might be the most important thing, right? So if anything, there might be a number of different teams available, and let's see how active some of those teams are. Just because of that, it happens to be that we're finding ourselves in a situation where we need to reach out to every single one of those teams, right? Even though my business is based in Bristol, right? So I have reached out in the Bristol team to Bristol team since they are looking to have a computer there. It's something that's called Isambart, and once I think it's I've been told that it's currently being built, right? I don't know if it's accurate. This is what they told me, right? From University of Bristol, I've been told that it's currently being built. So once it's going to be built, not necessarily industry would be able to access that computer for quite some time, right? So even that would be an obstacle. I don't know why, because it will lose its value, and once it's been built, I personally believe that as soon as they can, they should look to make sure that they will make their money worth, I guess, since the investment was made, unless they don't care. I would care. If you might as well use it, right? So with that introduction, let's progress into this video. We're gonna be taking a look at computer that would be NI-HPC, collaborate between Queen's University of Belfast and Ulster University. NI-HPC. I think it's based in Northern Ireland, perhaps. So let's try to understand this opportunity a little bit better. I think that in Northern Ireland, right? I think applications it's over, but there was a project where they were looking to solve a recycling problem. So that's a problem that they had, and they had funds available, and they were able to perhaps approve about three different projects, right? Depending on what kind of funding you yourself you're interested in sourcing, right? So about three projects, and the funding is there within Northern Ireland, I think it was, and solving recycling. How, if anything, it was highlighted within project brief. Some of the information. I don't know how much in detail I can go, but either way, let's so real world problems. So perhaps how they can engage and reduce that problem, or perhaps there's so many different ways how to solve this problem, right? One of the ways would be perhaps how people, or perhaps younger adults, can recycle faster instead of perhaps throwing the rubbish on the floor, ground, or on the street, right? So that potentially be a good value for investment in solving that problem. Perhaps the life cycle of material and what's been used, that would be another way of solving it, and or perhaps replacing material for a better material. So there's yeah, so that's a problem, right? About three projects or so could potentially, based on how much finance you might be looking to source, you can solve this problem. It's been closed now. I think it's been closed perhaps even this morning. But that was the problem available to solve, right? So opportunities out there, right? If this one is over, the next one's gonna be open very soon. That's what I'm saying. Again, that's just an example of the problem, right? And real world problem that people can solve and help large groups of people, right? The contract itself, I don't know about the contract. What kind of contract people are there within the county, that's a different question, right? But the problem is there. The contract not necessarily the best, but what I'm saying, the problem is there, right? And from there, let's progress in taking a look at perhaps computing power, right? So hardware, well, potentially of any business having access to some computing power and solving real world problems, and perhaps giving back or helping society, community, right, and how things can be done better. The NI-HPC Center is a KSDRT National High Performance Computing HPC facility funded by Engineering and Physics Science Research Council. Right. Again, the same institution. I think it's something that I have mentioned previously, right? So, Engineering and Physics Science Research Council. Right. Again, so it's the same organization, right? So perhaps so invitation letter, right? I guess so similar thingy that you need to perhaps have before you can engage and have access to some of those computers. I would need to read all this information either way, so I might as well perhaps share that with others who are, I don't know, going for a jog, I guess. The Physics and Science Research Council, jointly managed by the Queen's University of Belfast and Ulster University. The £2 million investment from EPSRC, I think it's non-profit either way, will have significant impact on science by expanding the use of high-performance computers to new pools of talent and new areas of investigation of Northern Ireland. This will be done by building on strong collaboration between Ulster University and Queen's University of Belfast, already established throughout two major city deal initiatives. So opportunities are there. I can briefly touch on those, but what I'm saying, opportunities are there, right? Overall, so we got two universities or qualification providers up there. That would be King's University, one of the lead partners, as well as Ulster University, right? I don't know this organization, perhaps it's great organizations, right? Send me a check. Once that has been said, we can progress. Core competences with each university. That would be Queen's, and that would be chemistry, catalyst, pharmacy, food for fingerprinting, precision medicine. I'm interested in some of those, as well as perhaps I can see some of the projects and working potential of working together. And there's some opportunities that I have done in the past. I see some potential there, and there's a point of contact. Great, I like the structure. People know what they're doing already. Then I know who to ask if I were to call. Usually there's no reason to call, but if I were to call someone, at least I would know who to ask and look for, right? So there's a responsible person. So I guess there's people to be held accountable there, right? So we have Rogers. Great, let's progress. Next university, that would be neurotechnology and neuroscience, as well as hydrogen safety. Here you go. We're taking a look at perhaps energy solutions and all value proposition there would due to current energy. Is it crisis or is it challenges within the UK challenges? Perhaps there's another way how we'll potentially work together, as well as precision medicine. Something that I was taking a look at some of those projects today, where we were taking a look at medicine. And the point of contact, here we go, we got them. This is a man named Jim. Great. Myself, I think that I'm more interested in working with perhaps some of those institutions, right? So then I'm taking a look at how to acquire a license to operate before I can do anything, right? Perhaps I need to acquire a license, or any people who are interested in solving this problem. Previously, I was taking a look at different regions. So I was taking a look at, I think it's North Sea that's called again. Now, I think I need to take a look at different sea. I don't know. I know a lot about North Sea. I don't know much about what's happening with this part, right? But I think it's called differently. I need to receive a different license, or my business will need to have different license before doing anything. So it's something I covered previously, right? That's very important, as I mentioned to you, right? So again, I need to find who is responsible in have giving permission to operate within different regions, right? So before I can do anything, perhaps I can chat to the team, say hello, how is the things going? But not much until I will receive license to operate, right? And I don't know where, but perhaps somewhere in the region, right? I will share a screenshot. But that's where university is, and potentially how to expand and progress from there. Yourself, if you're interested in learning more, I have published this tool that would be how you can potentially structure routines and have a journal to track your progress. It's a way of system in place, how you can hold yourself accountable and stay on track. That will be important thing. Particularly, it's not something that you have done in the past, so it will be perhaps something new for many people, right? And having this journal in place, that will be very important. And how you can yourself establish those habits. Normally, it would take 70 days. It's structured, so it would be 90 days. If you were to work from cover to cover, would be enough time for you to develop a habit. With every page, it's a 24-hour window where you yourself you can learn new things and or new areas and how you can potentially progress from those. I would highly recommend sticking with the program and progress from there once you learn it, right? You can find it QR code in the corner, companies outside below. Even if I was, or any business might be interested in working perhaps even with satellites, right? So how much of that would require computing power, right? Perhaps not right now, in the future, right? I can briefly touch on that for people who haven't perhaps seen it, right? There's a number of centers available within the UK, right? Since we are taking a look at the maps, right? There's a different program, something that's called Catapult Satellite Applications, right? And within this network, they have a number of satellite centers. I think it was about 15, right? Last time I have checked it. Those satellites, and if I were to have access to some of those satellites, how much of computing power myself or others would need. Don't know yet, I don't know. But I think I would need a lot of computing power. So I'll touch on that and perhaps to yourself you do a level of research. I haven't done anything with the center, so it would, but it's would be a process of going forward, right? From there, let's finish and close on perhaps ways of collaborating and working together, right? And that would be the NI high performance computer team can provide help in a number of ways, including training sessions, help with job scripts, okay, software installation, consultancy, as well as programming help, okay. This is in the names, right? So myself, I would do is slightly different, perhaps. Would need to find a person as well as acquire a number of different licenses. So, but again, that's me. For people who are interested, if anything, there's opportunities available, right? So myself, I'm gonna do completely different things, right? Well, if anything, I'm looking to build more interest so people perhaps understand that there are so many different opportunities available. And if anything, if I would have to pick from where to begin, I would begin with the center. That's just me. That's just me. I would begin. I know that the way how this organization has been structured, there's a person I can reach out. I know where to ask. I know core competencies. I know what kind of project I can bring, and this person might be interested, and I can progress from there. Nice, it's with so less friction compared to other institutions that doing a lot of things, busy with other things. But that's just me. Thanks for watching. See you next one.